Okay, so questions. Bernadette says, should you use a general title or your official title at the company? I'm sure that has to do with the company branding. Bernadette, actually, it kind of has something to do with the company branding if it's a really big organization, but it's also about being relevant to your audience. So if you say, what should we say, sales director or sales manager, it doesn't really mean anything to anybody outside the organization, and actually can turn them off if you say you're a sales manager. So in Really Connect, I'm the sales manager, but if I put that on there, I'd be wasting space because it's not relevant. It doesn't mean anything to my audience. Why do they care? That's what I do. What they care about is that I help people to find leads in their business and know what to do about them. So use your title, that headline, use it really effectively as to what's most important to your audience, what do they need to know, what's going to grab their attention. Now, sometimes if you have got a prestigious role in the company, or if you're just the administrator and you don't necessarily want to be got in contact with, then yeah, you probably use your title. It helps people to pigeonhole you quickly. It's like, oh, that's what they do in that company, and that's great. Also, you can put it on there and then translate it into what does that mean for others. For example, when we saw, let's see his profile here, head of client services. Okay, great. That actually puts him in context. He's a senior manager in the company. I can now get his level of expertise, so it places him. But it doesn't mean anything to me. Why do I care as a client that he's the head of client services unless I actually intend to complain? So what I would recommend for him there is just to put in one of these dividers here. You can see between author and Really Connect as a divider. Put one of those in, and then I would recommend that Keith write something about the company and the problems that he solves, the relevance of the company to the audience. So then he's actually done both. If it's a big company, it's good to state your authority within the company by saying what it is that you do. I hope that answers the question. If not, post another one and I will answer it for you. And okay, how do you put in the contact information section? Was that in the contact link at the top of the profile? So Nikki, let me do it for you. Inside Edit Profile, when you're actually inside Edit, you actually will see it says Advice for Contacting down the bottom. If you've never written anything in there, it won't be showing on your profile, but as soon as you write something in there, it will show. So inside Edit mode, you'll see Advice for Contacting. For most of you, then it will probably be blank, and you just edit it like you would do for most sections on LinkedIn. Hopefully that answers the question of how you do that. And let's just actually cover that up here. Contact information. I just clicked on something else, which is also equally relevant. You have the ability on your LinkedIn profile to customize the URL that you use. Many people will have the URL on their profile where it has numbers and letters after it. So where I just to point out where that is, if I go on to, I'm connected to Mike, but this is the URL for his LinkedIn profile. So he can actually put that on his business card, and he can put it on his signature, on his emails. A lot of people have numbers and letters at the end of it, and it's very, very untidy. To clean this up, you literally click on, I have to go back actually. You click on where you see it underneath your photo, click Edit, and then come down, and then you see on the side here your public profile URL. Customize your public profile URL, and then you can write it in there, whatever you want it to be. And that's a really great way of tidying your profile up. And then if I go back, and then I want to go to contact information. Here you can see the contact information. So I've got the company telephone number for safety. I'm not putting my mobile on there. And I've got my email address, and I've got my Twitter, and also the company. You can click on my blog. You can see advanced training for LinkedIn, advanced sales training. And then if you look at other people's as well, which I can't see this. Nicholas has closed off her contact information because I cannot see it. And that's actually to a disadvantage, Nikki, because I am connected with you. I know you well. I've actually got your number on my mobile phone. I can phone you anytime. But if I wanted to forward that on to somebody, they wouldn't be able to get in touch. And if I didn't know you that well, I wouldn't be able to call either. So for Mike here, I can't phone Mike up unless I scroll right down to the bottom. So if you put it on the bottom, which I know you have, Mike, put it on the advice for contacting. Do make sure it's in your, oh no, you haven't. Make sure it's up here as well. You fill in all the information, all the boxes in the contact information. So I've got a new question here from Julie. I just went through a major career change from supporting raising missionaries 8 years to a business startup wanting to appeal to a wide audience range of people. Any recommendations on how to communicate this? The two careers don't seem to relate. How do I market myself in a way that will appeal to a new audience? Okay, Julie, I would suggest that of all the people you met in the 8 years doing the job you did before, they're all friends, fans of yours, people who would recommend you, and that is actually your asset. That is your network. You've done a great job for them, and if they knew that you were moving into a new endeavour, I'd suggest they'd probably be very willing to help you and to make recommendations and introductions on your behalf. There's no need to hide behind, like, cut one off or the other, which I know that's not what you're saying. But if you get your story right as to why you've made the change from one to the other and what your passion is, even if the passion is now completely new and nothing related to the old one, you actually can write this on your summary for your people who knew you as one to understand how you made the transition from one to the other. And also for those who are looking at your experience for your credibility and wondering, well, how did you go from that to that? You can then justify it for them that way, but also not put too much emphasis on it, but some brand new people who never knew what you did before, they won't know about it. They don't it's not going to bother them too much. And it really comes down to the story. It's your big why. What is the reason why you've made this transition? And you don't need to write paragraphs about this. I suggest one line that would do it. So I'm really passionate. You say what the business does, and then you would say the problems you would solve for the business. Then you would say what your role is within the company, what you're looking to achieve. And then you can say, I started this business up after doing 8 years of the missionary stuff that you did, because I saw a need in the market for, and I'm passionate about, and I'm really keen to move forward with this, or something along those lines. And then that should be all you need. It's probably like a three sentence paragraph in the summary, probably the 4th paragraph, and it will just completely, people go, oh, all right, fair enough, we all do that, we all change careers, and that should be fine. So hopefully that answers your question. If not, write again. Great. Savannah just said that she signed up for an appointment. I will call you on the number you provided. Cool. And Eric says, I keep getting invited by LinkedIn to upgrade to a professional package. Can you please comment on the pro package? Eric, it really depends on what it is that you're doing and what your role is within the company. I understand that the job hunting tool, which I have used before actually, is very good. So if that's one of the things, great. But I would suggest that until you know how to use the free profile to the best value, you're not going to get a return on investment of a paid profile. Everything we teach on our courses is actually through the free profile, because a lot of the tools and techniques are exactly the same within the page. You just get the ability to do more. So, for example, you can do saved searches inside of a profile. A free one, you can only save 3 searches, but on a paid profile, you can get 10 or more, depending on what level you go to. So, I suggest coming on one of our courses, really learning how to do it, and you will get your return on investment back way quicker than upgrading to a professional package at this time. When you know what you're doing, then it's really worth going up from there, because you can just do so much more, but you can't do more if you don't know what you're doing. So I hope that answers your question. It is now 1 hour, so it's time to finish, but if anybody has any more questions, I am happy to stick around for 5 minutes. Otherwise, I shall think that you're all very, very happy. but we can just say we have officially ended. So up to you if you want to stick around to hear more questions. And we'll give it. Oh, thank you, Nikki. I'm glad it's been really helpful. That's great. And everyone's starting to drop off. So I think we're done. I think no one's got any questions. Do sign up for an appointment. I'd love to meet you personally. And I just love strategizing and telling people what to do with their profiles. I get really excited. So yeah, that was great. Well, thanks ever so much. And I look forward to seeing you all book an appointment with myself, and we can discuss the next steps forward for you with LinkedIn and your business.